I gave my most expensive engineer's entire backlog to an AI assistant for 1 week. The result? Our velocity didn't just increase, it exploded, but there was a catch. The technical debt we accumulated in 7 days was enough to make any software architect lose sleep. As a tech lead managing distributed systems, I've spent years balancing feature speed with code-base stability. I know the difference between code that works and code that scales. I've integrated everything from GitHub Copilot to Tabnine into my workflow, but this experiment was different. I didn't just use AI for autocomplete, I used it as a primary developer. In this video, we're doing a deep dive into the actual numbers. I'll show you the exact prompts that crushed the backlog, the hidden bugs that nearly crashed our staging environment, and why faster isn't always better in a professional codebase. If you're a senior dev or a lead wondering if AI is actually ready for prime time, or just trying to scale your team without breaking your system, you need to see this. Look, we've all seen the DMOS. One prompt and boom. A fully functional feature. It feels like a superpower. But here is the truth most AI influencers won't tell you. Speed is a vanity metric. When you're a tech lead, you don't care if a feature takes 2 hours or 2 days to write. You care about how much it costs to maintain for the next 2 years. AI assistants are masters of the happy path. They give you code that works right now, it passes the tests, it looks clean, but beneath the surface, it's a minefield. We're talking about subtle logic bugs, redundant abstractions, and the worst part, code that no human on your team actually understands. You're not just adding features, you're importing technical debt at a scale we've never seen before. Imagine your velocity doubling, but your codebase becoming a black box. One day, a critical bug hits production. You go to fix it, but the AI wrote the logic, and the engineer who prompted it didn't actually review the edge cases. Now you're not just debugging code, you're debugging a hallucination. That is the trap: high velocity today, total paralysis tomorrow. So here was the experiment. I took a full week of high-priority tickets, the kind usually reserved for a lead engineer, and handed them over to a stack of AI assistants. I primarily used Cursor AI for the codebase indexing and GitHub Copilot for the heavy lifting. The goal: see if AI could actually replace the senior level of thinking, or if it was just a very fast junior. Days 1 and 2 were, frankly, intoxicating. My velocity didn't just increase, it exploded. Features that normally take a senior dev a full day of planning and execution were being shipped in 20 minutes. I felt like I had a superpower. I was prompting, hitting tab, and watching PRs pile up. If you're looking at raw output, the AI wins every single time. But then day 4 hit. That's when the AI tax came due. I started doing a deep dive into the code reviews. On the surface, the features worked. The tests passed, but underneath, it was a disaster. The AI was solving for the immediate prompt, not the long-term architecture. It had introduced 3 redundant utility functions because it forgot it had already created them in another file. It ignored our established naming conventions. Worse, it had introduced hallucinated dependencies that didn't exist in our production environment. Here is the core problem. A senior developer spends 70% of their time thinking and 30% typing. AI does the exact opposite. It types 99% of the time and thinks 0%. I found a critical bug in the payment flow on day 6. The AI had fixed a race condition by adding a hard-coded sleep timer. A senior dev would have implemented a proper mutex or a database lock. The AI just found the fastest way to make the error message go away. That is the danger of AI velocity. It creates a facade of progress. You feel like you're moving at light speed, but you're actually just accelerating the rate at which you're accumulating technical debt. By the end of the week, the codebase was a minefield. I had shipped more features than my senior dev does in a month, but I spent the entire weekend refactoring the mess just to make the system stable. The velocity was shocking, but the cost of ownership was unsustainable. So the final tally: velocity jumped by 40%, We shipped features in hours that usually take days. But the cost was hidden. The code was brittle. It lacked the architectural foresight only a human senior dev provides. If you want to experiment with this balance, start with Cursor AI. It's currently the gold standard for codebase indexing. For those deep in the enterprise ecosystem, GitHub Copilot remains the reliable choice. And if you need a privacy-first, self-hosted option, go with Tabnine. Check the links in the description to grab these tools. But remember, AI is a force multiplier, not a replacement for a brain. If this deep dive helped you rethink your workflow, hit that subscribe button. Now, tell me in the comments, would you actually trust an AI with your production codebase?